I have listened to hundreds of women, different stories, different husbands, the same wound.
It has been 10 years since I began working as a psychologist. My name is Dr. Nneka Okafor, and I am in my mid to late 40s. I will talk about why the old definition of submission is failing professional African women. Women with broken hearts. Women with broken confidence. Women whose marriages slowly became prisons. Today I will tell you about 4 women. A gradual system of domination disguised as love, leadership, or tradition. Many women do not recognize it until years later.
People often ask a cruel question. Why didn't she leave?
But psychologists ask a different question.
What happened that made leaving feel impossible?
Today I will tell you about 4 women. Their stories are painful, their stories are real, and their stories reveal how patriarchy can protect harmful behavior while demanding submission from women. The first woman was Ado B., 38 years old, married for 12 years, mother of 3 children. She entered my office carrying guilt that did not belong to her. Take your time. You're safe here.
I don't even know where to start.
Start with what hurts the most. What Adobe was describing was emotional coercion. Emotional coercion occurs when guilt, pressure, fear, or manipulation are used to override personal boundaries.
Then one night, he asked for something that changed everything.
My husband said if I truly loved him, I would agree to things that made me uncomfortable. One evening, my husband told me he wanted to bring another woman into our marriage. At first, I thought he was joking. Then I realized he was completely serious.
How did you feel in that moment?
Like the ground disappeared beneath me. My husband was asking for a threesome. When I said no, he became angry. He accused me of being old-fashioned. He said other wives were more understanding. He kept bringing it up again and again.
What Adobe experienced is known as boundary erosion. Boundary erosion occurs when repeated pressure slowly weakens a person's confidence in their right to say no. Many victims begin questioning their own feelings.
I stopped talking to anyone about it. I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. I kept asking myself if maybe I was the problem.
You haven't been yourself lately. What's happening?
You're my sister. I know when you're hurting.
I feel like my opinion no longer matters. Every conversation becomes an argument. Every boundary becomes a problem.
Many women in emotionally coercive relationships develop chronic anxiety. Their nervous systems remain constantly alert. They begin anticipating conflict before it even happens.
Do you believe you have the right to say no?
I used to.
Your boundaries are not cruelty. Your discomfort is not selfishness. Your voice matters.
No one has ever said that to me before.
Healing often begins with a single realization. You are not wrong for having boundaries, and love that requires the destruction of your dignity is not healthy love. The second woman who sat in my office was Ifunanya, 34 years old, married for 8 years. When she entered my office, she was not crying. She was beyond tears. She looked emotionally exhausted. Tell me what brought you here.
My husband stopped hiding his affairs. He started bringing other women into our home.
He said I was overreacting.
Whenever I confronted him, he said I was insecure. He said no modern woman should behave like this.
Gaslighting causes victims to question their own reality.
I felt invisible,
inside my own marriage. The worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was the humiliation.
What he is doing is wrong.
Sometimes I feel like nobody sees my pain.
The deeper the trust, the deeper the wound. Repeated betrayal can create what psychologists call betrayal trauma.
When did you realize something had to change?
The day I stopped recognizing myself.
I looked into a mirror and saw a stranger.
Humiliation is not love. Gaslighting is not love. Betrayal is not love. Healing begins when a woman stops accepting pain as proof of commitment and submission. Betrayal has a way of shaking even the strongest people.
The third woman was Kami, 40 years old, married for 15 years, successful, respected, confident, or at least she used to be. Because betrayal has a way of shaking even the strongest people.
I discovered my husband had been involved with someone I trusted. Not a stranger, not a colleague, someone from my own circle.
Someone from my own circle.
I lost trust in my marriage. But I also lost trust in people I loved. That was the part nobody prepared me for.
Psychologists often describe this experience as trust collapse. The victim begins questioning emotional safety itself.
The hardest moments were often the ordinary ones. Family gatherings, celebrations, places where trust once lived.
An attachment injury damages emotional security.
People expected me to forgive immediately. Nobody asked whether I had healed. Everybody wanted peace. I wanted honesty.
Many cultures pressure women to preserve relationships at any cost, even when they are the ones carrying the emotional damage.
Do you trust yourself?
Not anymore.
Then that is where healing begins.
Beneath her calm appearance was a woman carrying enormous emotional confusion.
The fourth woman was Zainab,
32 years old, married for 6 years, quiet, thoughtful, resilient.
What has been troubling you most? My husband treats intimacy like an obligation. He withdraws completely and refuses meaningful affection.
Many couples focus on physical closeness while neglecting emotional connection. Healthy intimacy is built on trust, communication,
empathy, and mutual respect. I began feeling invisible. Whenever I tried to talk about my feelings, the conversation would end quickly. Eventually, I stopped speaking. For a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. I kept trying harder and harder. Nothing changed. When people experience repeated emotional invalidation, they often begin blaming themselves. This can gradually damage self-esteem and emotional confidence.
When did you realize you needed help? The day I realized I was constantly afraid of disappointing everyone except myself.
Love should never require you to abandon yourself. A healthy relationship makes room for both people to be heard.
I don't think I've ever heard love explained that way. Maybe my needs matter too.
The goal of a healthy marriage is not obedience. It is connection, not silence, but understanding, not control, but mutual respect. After hearing the stories of these women, I wanted to explore a deeper question. Why do so many women endure emotional pain in silence? To answer that question, I visited Mama Ngozi, a respected elder who had witnessed generations of marriages.
For many years, girls were taught one lesson above all others: endure. Endure disappointment, endure disrespect, endure pain, and somehow that became what many people called a good wife.
Psychologists call this intergenerational conditioning, beliefs passed from one generation to the next, often without questioning whether those beliefs are healthy.
Many women were praised for silence. Nobody asked what that silence was costing them. Some lost confidence. Some lost dreams. Some lost themselves.
I also spoke with Pastor Daniel, a man known for counseling couples and promoting healthy relationships.
One of the most damaging misunderstandings is confusing leadership with control. Healthy leadership serves with control. Control dominance. The difference matters.
Emotionally mature people do not fear accountability. They can apologize.
They can listen. They can change harmful behavior.
Nobody ever taught me boundaries were healthy. I thought endurance made me strong.
And he's forgiveness with ignoring pain. I thought my needs were less important.
Healing often begins when old beliefs are challenged, when silence becomes honesty, when shame becomes understanding, when survival becomes growth. Healing is rarely dramatic. Most of the time, it begins quietly, a boundary spoken for the first time, a truth finally acknowledged, a woman deciding she deserves better. 6 months after our first sessions, the lives of these women began to change.
The problem was never that these women were weak. Healing begins when those burdens are finally questioned.
For years, I was afraid that saying no would make me a bad wife.
Now I understand that healthy love respects boundaries. My voice deserves space too.
I spent years questioning my reality.
Now I trust my instincts again. I no longer need someone else's approval to validate my feelings.
The betrayal changed me, but it did not destroy me.
I am learning that caring for myself is not selfish. It is necessary.
What have you learned about yourselves?
That boundaries matter.
That healing is possible. That I deserve respect.
Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect.
Not fear, not control, not superiority, respect.
Survival should not be the highest goal for our daughters.
The most beautiful part of healing is not becoming who you were before. It is becoming someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who finally understands their own value.
I used to believe keeping peace meant keeping quiet. Now I understand that peace without respect is not peace at all. My voice is no longer negotiable.
I no longer question my reality. I trust my instincts.
Betrayal was never dependent on another person's choices. I survived. I grew. For years, I searched for validation from other people.
Now I understand something important. My needs matter. My well-being matter. I matter.
The greatest impact of healing is not what happens to one woman. It is what happens to the next generation.
I pray our daughters never inherit our silence. I pray they inherit courage instead. The courage to leave, to choose peace.
The strength is not domination.
Leadership is not control. Respect is not weakness. The strongest relationships are built by two people who honor each other's humanity.
As a psychologist, I have learned something powerful. Most women do not need permission to heal. They need support. They need safety. To every woman listening, your dignity matters. Your boundaries matter. Your voice matters. Your dreams matter. You do not have to earn basic respect. You already deserve it. Healing is possible. Growth is possible. Peace is possible. And every woman deserves the opportunity to experience all three. Because the goal is not simply surviving. The goal is living with dignity and teaching the next generation that love should never require the loss of oneself.